right, y'all, and welcome to 30 Something and Virgin. It is so excited to be back with y'all. Last year, the end of 2020 was something else, but I'm grateful that we all made it through. And as you all can see, I have a beautiful guest host for tonight. I know her from Jonestown, Mississippi, and when I was around her, we called her P, but I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all tonight.
Well, I am P, but my name is Shakira Madrano from Louisville, Mississippi. And of course, I'm 30 and virgin. 2 beautiful children, 2 lovely dogs. Well, actually, I have 4 children. So, but anything specific?
Oh, no, that's fine. If you wanted to share, I know, so the reason that I asked P to be on, or Shakira, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I asked her to be on is a couple of reasons. We are both Capricorns. I follow her on Facebook, and on Facebook, P is all about the love and the light. She's all about especially loving on yourself as a woman and celebrating the women around you and the people around you. And it's just always so fascinating to see. When I first started out on Facebook, being a person that was on social media, I made sure that I only followed people that were positive. If you keep up a lot of mess, I don't want to be on your page.
Delete.
I don't want you down my timeline. I got enough of stuff going on in my life. So I always P always has something really great to say. She's always doing something awesome. And then also because I just love her love story. And we're going to get into that and get to talking about it. Tonight's episode, we're going to be dealing with loving ourselves, especially as women and women of color, loving ourselves and loving ourselves through everything. So as we all heard, P said that she had 2 beautiful children, and actually 4. There's one of her babies there. One of her babies is making the debut. Oh, that's a she, because she got bows in her hair.
This is Coco Chanel.
Coco got bows and an outfit on.
Oh yeah, she keeps one on, and he keeps one on. Say hi, I'm Prince Madrano.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Prince. Hi, Coco Chanel and Prince.
Okay, mommy's got to do something. Go.
No problem. So let's start off with both. I guess both of us can talk about what does it really mean to love yourself? For you, what does it really mean to love yourself and love yourself consistently?
Me, self-care, health, mentally, love myself, physically love myself. If I'm taking care of myself as in body, mind, and spirit, then I think that is more self-love to me, because if I'm healthy, I know that I'm loving on myself if I'm healthy. And if my mental state is at peace, then I'm loving myself. And spiritually, I love myself. So I think that is self-love to me.
Okay. Were you before I ask this next question, I'll just say I agree with P, and it's strange as she was saying the things, I was thinking to myself there's actually some stuff that I'm working on now, because I said, at the end of 2020 things got a little crazy. I lost one of my dearest, closest friends. She was a sister to me, and then my mom got a little bit sick. I think the end of my mom got sick right after Thanksgiving. Anybody that knows that I am crazy about my mother, all about my folks. So that was rough. So now at this particular time, I'm trying to get myself back acclimated to taking care of myself properly and making sure that my mental is good, because I told my little sister, I was if I'm not straight right now, I won't be able to support y'all or mom.
Exactly.
So where did you get that? Was that instilled in you as a child, or how did that come about?
It was my mother and grandmother always told me self-love first, love yourself. They didn't really elaborate on it, but it was always love yourself first, love yourself. As I got older, I tended to do queen-like things. I always consider myself queen. I am a Black queen. So I will teach everyone under me to love yourself. And when you love yourself properly, you can love someone else.
Yeah, that's a big one that I think a lot of people, I think it, like, especially in Black families, there's like this struggle with making sure you love yourself and like you support everything that's going on with the family. And an example of that is like, so for instance, when I moved to Houston, everybody was like, you know, like, you gonna really move? Gonna leave your family here? And I'm like, yeah, you know, it's something for me. You know, I was watching the Clark sisters movie last night, and the big thing with Twinkie and Niecy was that they just wanted something for themselves outside of their family. And sometimes with the Black family, there's that struggle. Have you ever dealt with that particular?
No, and I think I do think it's all Black families that we want to be stuck to each other as if, but I always had the mind state of I love my family while I'm with my family, but as I get older, more responsible for myself to be able to go away from home, I have to create my own family. So that way I have to step out on family. I still love family, but I'm creating my own family.
Yeah, that's what I had to tell my family. I was like, I'm out here creating something better for me and trying to, you know, everybody got kids now. I don't have a kid, so maybe meet a husband, get kids. So you want to do that. That's part of loving yourself. But sometimes, I guess for women, it is so tough because we are the backbones most times of family.
We are. Most of the time it is definitely us, because we are natural nurturers. Even when we're not taught these things, it comes naturally to us. And my biggest thing was I am very family oriented, so I would do anything for my family, but I would create that, separate the two whenever I had made my own family.
And it doesn't, the way that you all do it, your family does it, it doesn't seem like a separation. It all seems,
and it's not. That's why it's so smooth for me, because the process was so easy. And I think it's mostly because they saw the love that I was creating with the family that I was having, my husband and kids, and it became so easy for them to, okay, I'm not gonna like barricade her or front every time I see her somewhere, or I'm gonna give her space because he got her.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, like in families, especially when we're younger, you have parents, and sometimes your parents like, ooh, I don't like him, or
and I've had that stage. I've had that stage of you know, nobody for parents, nobody's good enough for your daughters anyway. It's not your sons either, but your daughters, they are not good enough for them. So my thing was, will I ever meet someone? I knew, but that was a question for them. Will she ever meet someone good enough for me that I won't have to question him? So it came so naturally. My husband is the first person my dad did not question. He felt it. My grandmother did not question, or my mother, which is my biggest supporter, did not question anything about him. That they wanted to get to know him, and the first interaction with him, they fell in love with him, and it was just like magic.
That is so dope. And y'all seem like, when I say I'm not trying to get y'all to go on P page to be stalking her or nothing, but if you're her friend and this is a 30-something virgin, you can see exactly what she's talking about on her page. You see that love on that page.
But that's why I tell a lot of people, when you do love self, that opens the door for you to people say I have standards, you're entitled to have those things, but you can actually have something way greater than you have already set for yourself.
That's so dope to say, and it is so right. Like thinking about people like, what is on your list? A lot of people ask me like, Akilah, do you have a list, or you're to this or this or that? And I'm like, nah, I don't. When I was younger, because there was something that
exactly
have like that list. Yeah, but the older I've gotten, I'm focusing more. And I had somebody tell me like, you say you still working on you. If you still working on you at this time, something wrong. And I was like, that sounds so stupid, because I'm a teacher, right?
You forever work on yourself. Forever.
Exactly.
Don't care who you are, you forever work on yourself.
Exactly. Because you like my whole thing is like, I want to be better than who I was 24 hours ago, 15 minutes ago.
And that is the goal. Exactly.
Yeah. And you're like consistently learning and growing. So like, yes, I did have there were standards, but like these particular things that I was looking for. But the older that I've gotten, the focus has
faded away.
Yeah, they've faded away. And it's like, if you can love and respect me the way that I love and respect myself, the way that my family loves and respects me, the way that those friends that I call family love and respect me, then we can get that.
Exactly.
Right? We can get down. It doesn't matter. And like, oh, well, Akilah, you a teacher and now you have a small business. Would you date somebody that's working at Popeyes? Yeah, if he got drive and he trying to do something, he might be the manager at Popeyes.
Exactly.
He might be a franchiser at Popeyes. So
and I tell a lot of people that I think as people, human, we look for titles, which is normally our downfall, because we are looking for something that's not even meant for us. I like to say that love comes naturally. It's not forced. It's understanding. It's kind. It's love. And when people say love, they automatically, well, he cheated on you, but she took him back, and he said he was sorry, he wasn't gonna do it again. But love, when it was explained in the Bible, everything about it was good. And but people take what they want from it. And I'm a person that only takes love is good. So if you love me, you will do no wrong by me. And if I love you, I won't do any wrong by you.
Exactly. And that creates what I'm going to ask about in this first question. And then I want to go back to your love story. How is it that you create peace within yourself to pour that peace out into everybody else?
Me, I'm a meditation person. I'm a self-thinker. I overthink sometimes, but I think in a sense where if I love myself, other people will see that I love myself, and then they'll start asking questions, and then they'll start to love themselves. So it's kind of like a domino effect. I call it the domino effect. So if I love me and you love me, and then you say, well, I need to get like that, and I want everybody to think of themselves as kings and queens, because that's what we are. Now, the only reason that we think that less of that is because someone has broken our spirits. I'm the type of person that builds and uplifts the spirit to keep you in the queen, the royal mind state.
Oh, that's so awesome. And sometimes we get so, I have found myself so many times, like I have friends and I see them like having moments on Facebook, or I had a friend to have a moment recently, and I had to text her. And even sometimes myself, like my crown gets tilted, but I'm not going to like let it fall. It might tilt.
Yeah, it definitely happens from time to time. That's why I always tell people, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And as far as myself, I don't really try to be perfect. I just be honest with myself. And if I'm honest with self, then I don't feel like I'm wrong at anything that I do. So I may fall off track, and then I'll get back on track. But that crown, it never falls off.
Exactly. And I don't think that people realize how powerful it is to acknowledge that I may not have it all together. I may have fallen off. I may have lost this. Like, it's in the acknowledgement that you gain your power.
Yes, it definitely, and I manifest. So everything that I speak, I speak it and I believe it, and It actually, I tell people to this day, everything that I have and I've done is because I've manifested it all. I've said it, I've spoke it, I believed it, and it came true.
Oh wow, okay. So when you do anything specific with your manifestations? Like, you know, on 30 something version, we do manifesting Mondays, and sometimes I'll do like a meme or something. I don't know if you follow 30 something version or whatever, but sometimes we'll do like a meme. And I've been recently like following different people that talk about manifestation. I don't know if you TikTok, it's this one, it's like ching 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 goes the money tree. And every time I think money comes to me, like he does different stuff like that. So I've started incorporating stuff like that.
I do my own things, and I mostly write and then breathe. I write and breathe, and it sticks with me. So I constantly say it. Anything that I write down, I say it, believe it, and I fold it, and then I burn it. Burn it because I say when you burn, it goes into flames, it goes into ashes, and it spreads. So any love that I have spreads into the world.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, yeah, I like that. I do a lot of writing. I had a friend tell me like, Akilah, you always asking me what's my plan, and then it was in 2019 when I kept asking her, so like, what's your plan? Like, what you got? Yeah. And she's like, what do you mean? What's your plan? I was like, well, so you can ask my production manager or anybody else. I keep a book or something like this, like around, because I'm always writing out like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I need, like this is where it's going. And I keep it with me because like I'll tell anybody, like in the Bible, I think it's Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain. So like if I'm writing it out, I'm making it plain for myself, I'll do that. But just recently I started, like when I started seeing these different things, I was like, oh, so like people really get into this in a different manner. And I think that's like really, really dope to do. Do you do that like with your children or with your husband or your other family members?
Well, with my husband, we do everything together. It's nothing that we don't do together. It's kind of like we're like connected at a whole nother level. But my children, we speak everything into existence. I say, if I speak life into you, things start to come. So that's why my daughter has this queen-like personality, and she says, I'm a princess, mommy, you're the queen. So it's kind of like go hand in hand. And I told her as she get older, she'll become a queen, and that's what I'm teaching her to be. We love self, and when we love self, we do not accept anything that harms or put us in danger.
That's the truth. Has there ever been a time that you could speak on specifically where you were down in the dumps and you had to find a way to work yourself out of that situation, even though you knew you had the knowledge of what you needed to do, how you should do it, but you made maybe not necessarily a bad decision, but a choice that altered some different things? Has there ever been a situation where you've been like that, and what did you do to get out of it?
Well, I like to say all my like things that I went through. I like to say that they were all lessons. My biggest thing, my children are my blessing, but had I waited, I would have had the true and perfect. My love story is perfect. But with my husband, I would have had my children. But I am proud that I had my children with who I had them with, because that makes them so unique in who they are today.
Oh, that's totally dope. Well, let's talk a little bit about your love story. Because when I say, I remember my sister talking about coming to, so my sister is close to P. I want to make sure I don't. It's close to P.
Yes.
She attended P's wedding, and I remember her talking about just like how gorgeous you were walking down, and then you posting it and seeing it, and you always not necessarily talk about your love story, but it's great to see. How can I put this? So we all see Jada Pinkett, we see Jay-Z and Beyonce, we see all of these stars, stars in reality of love. But it's great to see like homegrown. While she's from the Coahoma County area, to see homegrown love. Yeah. Right. So how did your love story begin?
I was working at K&N in South Haven. I was doing this 5 in the morning to 5 in the evening shift. It was weird, something that I don't even normally do because I'm a no overtime person. I do not do overtime at all. Anybody that knows me, I do not do overtime. And if the job asks me to do overtime, I will say no. I'm walking out. It was crazy, but for some reason, I had already been praying, asking God, saying, I'm ready now, God. Like I knew then I didn't ask for a husband is because I wasn't ready for one. I was still living and doing whatever I was doing. So now I'm ready. I prayed and I said that I'm ready. And then I said, whatever man is my husband, God, show me him 3 times. That's all I need. If you show me him 3 times, I'm going to get him. So we worked. I met Angel. Like, I had been working there for like a year and a half. And after that year and a half, I saw him on like an owl. I had some young lady to call him and I asked him his name and told him I liked him. I did not know him. And I said, but I'll just wait and see. I didn't ask him for his number, just his name at that point. So I saw him in a store the second time. And I was like, oh, hi, Angel. And he's like, hi. And he's very shy. But he do not talk to anyone if he do not know them. So that's why it was so shocking to his family. But the third time was back at the job. Saw him on an owl. I stopped him. I said, well, no, I saw you 3 times. I didn't tell him he was going to be my husband right then because I didn't want to scare the man off. But I said, can I have your number? And he was like, oh, you want my number? I said, yes. And I was like, why? You don't think I want your number? He's like, no. He's like, but you can have it. And I was like, okay. I talked to him. Me and Angel formed a friendship. It was just like instant connection with him. And I had never connected with anyone like I connected with him. It was no, he would give me like hugs. It was no kissing, no anything outside of that. It was just simply hugs. And the hugs were so, I don't know, so powerful to me because every time I hugged him, it's like I could be in his arms all day if I wanted to. And he never took it past that. He said, we're going to do a friendship. I want to get to know you. I didn't let him meet my children until like a year and a half into being friends. And then I let him meet my children. We started going to movies, going skating, going race cars and stuff. It was just a venture thing, but we were connecting, getting to know each other. Were you family origin? How do you love? Do you love yourself? And everything that I had wanted in a man was him. I didn't tell him, but the next year he said, well, can we be in a relationship? And I said, yes, I've been waiting. And he's like, I didn't want to ask too soon. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Got in a relationship. A year later, he proposed to me. When he proposed to me, he said, I knew the moment I met you that you were my wife. And I said, what's funny is I knew the moment I met you, you were my husband. I said, but I didn't want to scare you. And he said, and I didn't want to scare you. And I was like, ain't that crazy? And I was like, maybe I think if people start speaking sooner, then it probably would have happened. So 6 months later, we were married. We didn't wait longer because he always said if it was something that you truly love, you're not gonna wait for it. It only took me the 6 months. It was because I had to get my family from Missouri to come down. I had to get them to get time off and also get my venue and me seeing the theme. I had already said when I was younger, I want a fairy tale wedding. Whenever I meet that man, I'm not gonna marry him if it doesn't feel like a fairy tale. So that way, everything that I've ever thought of would not be not true. So whenever I do get married, I'm sticking to fairy tale. So he's gonna have to be Prince Charming. He was definitely an angel. He's definitely his name.
Oh wow, that is so dope. That is actually a great love story, and it gives a lady like me hope, and I hope that it gives our viewers some hope as well, especially in manifesting the things that they want.
Oh yes, it definitely comes. Just, I always say, whenever you ask, be ready for it. Be ready and willing. Love does not come with sacrifice. A lot of people say that, and I think most people think it's unreal when they see, but I am a living witness that you don't have to make sacrifices for love. If you truly love somebody, you love them for all of them and not just some of them. Angel accepted me through, I do have anger issues. I had anger issues growing up. When I met him, I had anger issues. But when you meet somebody so man-like, so angelic, you start to lower everything bad. You want to change. You want to grow for the better you, so you can give them the best of you. And I slowly attitudes start shifting, and I was always a dominant person in a relationship. I've never thought that I would naturally submit to a man, but that's why I always tell women, if he's a true man, you will automatically submit, and you will automatically have him submitting to you, not even knowing.
Exactly. That is, we don't recognize it because we're always thinking, like, when we say submit, that mean I gotta say yes or no, sir, come in the house at this time and all that.
Exactly.
And that's not what it is that he's supposed to be the leader and you are supposed to work together.
And a woman is not going to follow or walk side by side with a man that's able to lead. You can't show me security, protection, financial stability, then guess what? I'm not going to submit to you. I can't. My body and mind won't let me submit to you
at all. Because for me, in that realm of talking about that, I'm in fear. I'm on the lookout, because if you not leading, that means I gotta lead. So now I have to step out of the role of being the woman and the helpmate, and I gotta lead the relationship, and that's gonna cause all type of chaos.
And what's funny is I was so used to leading. I've always led. So when I prayed to God, I said, God, give me a man that's going to lead. Let me rest. I don't want to lead anymore. I'm tired of being in control. Give me somebody that can make me feel safe, secure, where I don't have to question anything. And he did just that.
That is so awesome. And that is something that's so, I keep saying it's so awesome, but it's just so dope to like hear. I've seen your love story on Facebook, but like how it actually happened, and then hear how it connects to who you are as a person, how it ties into your family. It just goes to show, like, if you're working to be a true team, if you're working to be a family, then you know that these are the actual things that you really do have to do. And it's not anything that should be conflicting. It shouldn't be an issue.
Exactly. No, it's definitely not to be. And I think because how it was and appeared to most people, like our families, they instantly connected. Like his family loved me like I'm like actually their family, and I love them like they're actually my family. Like, it's so weird that I love his mom and dad. He loved my mom and dad. Like his siblings, my siblings, we all like connect. We do everything together all the time.
It's so dope. But that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Like I saw a post the other day on Facebook, and the person was like, one of the first posts that I saw, it was so crazy because they were like back to back. The first post was like, I'm not claiming you till you take me to Walmart in your hometown and hold hands with me and walk around. That was the first post. And then the second post that I saw a little while after that was like, do you really give a damn if you friends or you cool with the in-laws? And it was, you know how people like have a screenshot. It was like a screenshot.
So I saw that post as well, and I that's why I've always said, I know it's not about your families when you creating a family, but your family is everything. And if I see that your family supports you, I know that you are good for me, because my family supports me and trust that I'm gonna make the right decision. So it came naturally for us. We all clicked at like first sight of each other. It was weird, and I was like, wait, because sometimes because I'm not easy trusting. I'm not easy trusting. So as far as people, I don't you have to kind of be around me a minute before I kind of open up to you. I'm very outgoing, but I'm not gonna trust you with my life right off. I tend to just set up obstacles to see what type of person you are. But it came so naturally for them. Like, oh my God, I love you. I love you for him. I love how he is. And I'm like, I love him. Like, I love him. And they like, oh my God, I love it. And it's been like that since.
That is so dope. So thinking about like the in-laws and also having like kids prior to him, how was that for your kids? How was that connection with your kids having some people don't want people to,
I know, but and I meant to say that, but what's funny, when my children knew I was getting married before I did, because he asked my son, on my wedding day walking, my son cried as I was walking down the aisle, and I thought something was wrong. And he just, Mommy, you're so beautiful. And I said, oh, you gonna make me cry. And then it's like, I'm so happy for you. They instantly fell in love with Angel, not me even knowing. They fell in love with him on their own. I didn't force them. I didn't tell them. He didn't tell them. He didn't force them. It just came naturally. And his family, oh my God, they be staying with them more than they stay. Like, they literally be with his brother all the time, playing and doing stuff. But we always do things together, and they instantly fell in love with them. It wasn't even an issue of nothing towards the kids at all.
Oh, that's totally dope. So I have another question, and it's again, y'all, if you're listening, virgins, just pick up on all of the big things that she's dropping. We're talking about different stuff and dropping a lot of gems. Like, think about when you're preparing for that man or that female, think about who it is that you are. Because I think what we don't realize is that if we don't know who we are, if we don't love ourselves enough, nobody else can know us or love us the way that we should.
And I can't love you if you don't love yourself, because if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love me?
Exactly. And women fall so short with that. And I can speak on that on my own, because I remember a time frame where I was like, I do love myself. And then I looked at like past relationships and I was like, nah, I didn't really love and care about myself, because all of the boundaries and the things that I shouldn't accept as a woman, I accepted.
Exactly.
Okay with the tomfoolery, because I was supposedly like loving someone, and even though I may have been like super infatuated with the person.
Exactly. And we sometimes lose ourselves in things like that, so it makes it a lot harder to see whether you really love yourself or not. And I think because we learn from it is the greater for me, when you actually do learn from it.
Yeah, when I say, I was telling people, because last year, to me, everybody, I'm so sick of 2020. 2020 is the worst. I fucking hate 2020, And I was like, no, 2020 was the bomb. Like, it was, even though we were in the middle of a pandemic, I wasn't suffering. My family wasn't suffering.
Exactly.
I afforded the opportunity to spend more time with myself, love on my family. I was teaching from home, so I could go back to Mississippi and check on my folks when I could, more than I could at first.
That was a I think 2020 was a self-love year. That's the time you had time for self. I didn't stop working in 2020, so I was blessed that I didn't even have to leave work. But also, it made me have more time, more game time, family nights, game nights. I tried to do something every other night with my children and husband, just doing stuff, like creating stuff. I was on Pinterest every other night looking for stuff to do for us. We was hanging, we was s'mores, we was movies outside. We was doing a lot of stuff that we just loved the adventure of.
Before we close out, I'm going to come back to ask you about your wigs, doing hair, all the little parties that you and your friends have. Because I think, are you going to turn that into a business for yourself?
I am. Okay. So, what's funny is, I was always, I'm the friend that always actually throw things, do things, and all my friends love it. Like, I'm a person that likes to, I say, queen of all trades. I try to learn everything on my own so that I don't have to go anywhere else looking for it or to do it. So I learned how to do my own hair, make my own wigs, do my own locks. I learned how to do my own makeup. I learned how to start sewing. I learned how to draw in the midst of 2020. I learned how to decorate so way better than I've always been crafty, but it became a lot better than it was, and I started just putting stuff together, and it was, oh my God, I love this. Started making drinks. I called myself a bartender. I was just doing everything. I was all over the place, and I was like, you should really do that. And I was like, what? So I would I call myself Amazon Queen because I order things from tents to weights to skates to guns to whatever, so I can just have a lot of things, so I can create my own fun place at home, especially just for my children too, so that they know that you can have fun at home. You don't have to go anywhere looking for fun. And so we kind of got in the routine of doing it. So I would do either girl nights, just strictly adults, but the kids was not left out. I would send them upstairs and let them play games and have snacks, and I'll have them kitty games up there. So I'm a person that don't really like my children going anywhere. So, hey girls, you can bring your kids too. You let them all go upstairs. The kids know to stay upstairs when the grown people are downstairs. So it became a lot easier for us to have girl night. And then we would have mommy and baby nights and painted sips and stuff like that. Made it a lot easier for us. Then we would have couples nights, and to show that it's just not just mommy and babies or just mommies. It's mommies and husbands or mommies and men. However, we are all together.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so dope. So my final question for you is going to be twofold. What is it that you do to make sure that you are consistently committed to loving on yourself? And how would you, if a person is just going through something and they're trying to find a way to get back to loving them and get back to wearing their crown, be they a king or a queen, what would be some advice that you would give them to get back there?
I tell people it starts with the body. It starts with the body to make sure you're healthy, because a lot of us tend to overlook the health thing nowadays. And when you are healthy inside, your mind, it'll kind of match with it, take some self-time. A lot of people are scared to do things by themselves. Me, I'm a person that can do things by myself and actually enjoy it and relax and do it. So I tend to do spa days with self. I'll do just a music, and I'll grab a canvas and I'll draw a picture, but I'll write inspiring words. You are great. You are amazing. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. Things that I know is true, and that I will speak to someone else to know that, so that they can know it's true.
dope. And even to you all, like P said, she said she would speak it to herself because she knows it's true. I can remember being in like a dark place, and people are probably gonna be like, "What do you mean, Keela? You always chipper?" Yep, I always keep a smile on my face because I don't want anybody else to be stressed out about the hurt that I'm going through or whatever I'm dealing with. But I can remember when I felt down on myself. This was when I took the quote, "Fake it till you make it," to a different. I was like, I'm gonna keep saying this, even if I don't believe it right now, even if I don't feel it right now, I'm gonna keep saying it to myself until I get it, until I feel it, until it's within me. And I can remember people saying like, "Oh, you take so many pictures now." I was like, "Yep, I'm fine as fuck. You take a picture too." Like
exactly. And when we speak it, it definitely comes true. I don't know how much I stress it, tell people. So I had a friend, I won't disclose her name, but she was very self-conscious. She didn't really think she was beautiful because she was on like, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm not that," and I'm you're beautiful, like you're beautiful. Like, you don't know how beautiful you are. And I think you just have to get your personality, your confidence to match how beautiful you are. And she's like, "You really think that?" And I'm like, "Yes, you are absolutely beautiful." She started saying she was beautiful. To this day, everybody that walks past her and they automatic, without her even saying, they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And she's like, "Thank you. Thank you." I said, it's just sometimes we don't see because we're so focused on every other thing that's going on around us that we can't even focus on self. So that's why I think it's more important for us to take that time to sit for self and just focus on us and not anyone else. I know we're mothers and wives, but we need that a long time.
Yep. And sometimes God will set you aside. Like I felt like last year in 2020, I was like, He set me aside so I can evaluate myself and see like where, like we all have stuff that we could work on, that we could be better at. And
exactly.
When I realized what we were doing, I just started consistently working on it, even though like I was writing down like the business plans and things that I wanted to do and stuff like that. And He was lining it up for me. Like I started knocking things out of the box. And I think that that's what we need to do as far as like loving ourselves now. Like write it out, say it to yourself consistently. And sometimes like if you got some big plans, y'all, don't tell everybody.
No, and see, that's me. I don't tell anything that I do or is going to do. I do not tell anyone because I always say if people can block your blessings, they can. That energy forms, and I don't care how people say it. The mind is powerful, and it can do things that we don't even think we're capable of doing. But I keep it to myself, and I wait and let it reveal itself because it's greater when no one knows the plan and cannot block the plan.
Amen. That is so true. They have no way to pray against it. To even sometimes you can have friends who they don't mean harm, but they could be in a space that you don't know that they're going through, and they see your happiness, and you might tell them you got X, Y, Z, and then they shift it.
But I always say, it's a lot of people that can't go everywhere with you. It's a lot of people that say that they're your friends, and no matter how good you are in this world, because I'm a firm believer that what you put in the world will come back to you. And I think that's why I have so many good experiences and contacts with so many people, because I do try my best to give out nothing but good. But you also have people that cannot help it. They're a product of their environment. So if I'm around so many negative people, if I'm doing something great, the vibes, you will support them until you cannot support them anymore. But when it's time for you to step up, it's like, oh yeah, that's some or that little business, or reference. And anytime you do that, it's not genuine, and nothing about that is a friendship. So that's why I always say everybody can't go with you.
They cannot. Sometimes you have to. There have been so many people that that God has revealed those things about, and I don't have any bad feelings toward them. I pray for them. Like
exactly.
I'm still
and a
praying
lot of
for
people,
you.
that's why I tell a lot of people, because I do not talk to you anymore, that doesn't mean I'm talking about you. I still pray you nothing but the best. I hope everything that you have going in life excels, but I just have to protect my peace, because I'm a person of peace and I will not let anything interrupt it.
I hear that. Pete, when I tell you like this conversation I was saying last year, I was like, oh, I always be commenting on her stuff because she's saying what I'm thinking. We thinking alike. But we Capricorns, and we are like flames.
It's a Capricorn thing. I swear it is.
But it has been such a pleasure speaking with you.
It was a pleasure to you.
Is there anything that you would like to leave the virgins with? Sometimes we do something called Sass Talk, where we leave them with something sassy and snazzy to take into the rest of the week. Is there something that you would like to leave them with?
Queen, I don't only speak to the queens, I speak to the kings as well. Kings and queens, you are perfect. I know they've always told you that nobody gets perfect, but you are perfect the way God wanted you to be. Go into the world, mark it with whatever greatness you have, and own it.
I love it. Market your greatness and own it. Thank you so much, Pete, for being
You're
on.
more than welcome.
Out of your afternoon. I'm gonna have a new segment called Cocktails with Key, where we'll be making drinks and just shooting the shit. I'm gonna have to have you back on for that, since you
most definitely.
So we can make some drinks together and just
perfect.
Well, thank you so much. You have a great rest of the night.
You do the same.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right, virgins, that's the end of this episode. That was a great conversation about loving yourself, and that piece of Sass Talk that she gave us at the end was something to remember. Market who you are. You're perfect as the person that you are. Market that, sell that, and own it. Don't be afraid to own who you are. So many times we fall short because we don't think that other people are going to be okay with who we are. But who gives a damn? Right? I read a quote today that my cousin posted. I'm gonna say it in summation, not verbatim, but it was pretty much, she said, I'm not gonna shrink so you can accept me. You can choke and I'm gonna still stay the size that I am. So don't shrink or dim your light to make anybody else feel great. You shine bright, stay the same size, walk in your greatness, and let them be attracted to you and follow. I'm so excited to be back for season 2. I'm thankful that you all are here. And again, thanks to P. Shakira for being on. And we will see you all on the next episode. Bye.